fascinating to me what's been happening. Hello everyone, this is Stephana Johnson, and I'm broadcasting live on Blog Talk Radio as well as the Google Hangouts. And today is a pretty special day because it's another day of awareness and awakening, and that's always a good thing. I'm going to talk about the fourth step in my signature system that I'm now calling Take Center Stage. Anyways, the 5 steps that I use with my clients, these are 5 key principles that I live by, and they're fundamental to who I am and what I do as a coach and as a healer. I do consider myself a healer. That's kind of been my my designation in my birth path and my purpose, life purpose. So this is step number 4. I'm going to actually repeat what number 5 was, because we're going backwards from 5 to 1. The reason I'm doing that actually is because they're not necessarily sequential, although they are when I take my clients through them. But once you have them, they're all congruent and they work in harmony with each other, and one helps the other. It balances nicely. And that's why I wanted to take them backwards instead of start 1 and go on to 5. I wanted to take them backwards. So you can see how each one can work individually on its own, but put them together and the steps expand and really give a vital force to your life and to your path. So let's see, this is the first part of step number 5, and that is to release what's not working. Is that backwards? It is. Oh my gosh. So my little tryout of what Alex does, he types them. So he typed them backwards. Oh my gosh, that is a total gift. Okay. So release what's not working. So you won't be getting my cards today. I'm going to have to practice. Brilliant. Brilliant. Another great thing about Alex. So the part of releasing what's not working and then reinforcing what is has always been something that for me is a skill, and I see in all of my clients is something that, oh, of course I know that, but it actually is a skill, because we also have to differentiate between what's working and what's just been a habit that's been in place. So you can see how we can dive a little bit deeper on that subject. So then the next one, step number 4, is support. And support is so crucial to what we do in life. And here's the other piece that I said. Let's see if this will show up. Look at that. That's me writing backwards completely. Okay, that's difficult. I'm going to have to take some time to do that. Support. Isn't that lovely? Support. Now, we can think of support as, in monetary terms, we can think of support as support from your loved ones. Well, those are all part of it. But if we look at this concept around, if something is helpful, we consider that supportive. If something is harmful, we consider that not to be supportive. And if something is neutral, would we consider that supportive or not supportive? So my take on it is that you're either helping or harming. There is no neutral. It's either beneficial or it's not beneficial. There is no neutral, because there is no static line in life. Life is never static, right? This plays out. We have to know that nothing ever stays the same. So we cannot mark our life by one straight line and say, this is how it's going to be, and if it's not like this, then things are bad. But we can use that concept as a gauge to see that things that are above the line of maybe what our boundaries are, or what we have created our own sphere of what we will accept, tolerance level, what we'll settle for in relationships. You know, now we start talking about the deeper stuff that I have been involved in as a counselor for 20 plus years, and working on the deep stuff that ultimately is where I go with my clients. Not that it's a scary thing, so I want to bring that home, because it's for me, it's not a scary thing, because I understand it, and I've got tools that take my clients safely through that journey, and I know the outcome, and I know the results are so amazing and so far from where they are, and so close, if not exactly spot on, or even better than what they imagined, what you dreamed of for yourself. And so I have that confidence because of knowing that my clients, that it's in you, that it's in every single person that I work with. I know that it's in you. And so that's exciting for me, and that gives me the confidence to step into that place and say, this is what I'm going for. And what's really exciting for me at this point is that this part of me that was this actress, where, okay, I segregated my life into compartments. And so when I was a mommy, this is all I did. I couldn't talk about my acting because I had to be present. And then when I was this, I could only do this, and I couldn't talk about my other business. And when I was doing acting, I could only do this, and I can't be a mommy and an actor at the same time. I had to segregate everything out. And when I realized that that's actually not effective, what that actually is doing is splintering my wholeness, because being a mother has enhanced me. Being an actress has enhanced who I am as a healer, as a coach. Now, I call myself a coach because that's kind of the normal term. I was an ordained minister 24 years ago, and as an ordained minister and a chaplain of the Houston Police Department, and volunteering as, you know, and doing the hats that a chaplain does and an ordained minister does, that was the loving gift and service of my humanity, of what my mission was. But it was totally segregated from anything else I did. And probably because of my own beliefs about what other people would think about me. Oh, well, she's an actress, and she's also going to go and do a christening of a baby. She can't be a minister and actress. That's not appropriate. This is the kind of stuff going on for me. And I had my own underlying trauma that was, and when I say trauma, okay, so I had my own underlying experience that was traumatic, that led to me holding on and attaching to a belief that was so limiting. And this now comes into the piece around and why I wrote the book, Finding Joy Beyond Trauma. Because that when you have unhealed trauma and experience that is skewing your belief system and your values, because you're not willing to communicate about it. So now, look, we're peeling it down back to the kind of the core issue here, and that's we're not communicating about this. It can really fester and turn into a big block. So as a result of me climbing out of these areas and then being able to look at everything that I had done in my healing path of being a healer, because when I was not only just working to create and help heal others, I was always on that path of healing myself. And that's, I think any healer knows that. So I have this array of tools now that being able to understand the depth of the individual's uniqueness allows me to pinpoint exactly what's needed, and that's really exciting. So that now brings me back to the step that I'm talking about, and that is support. And so if something is supporting you, that means it is beneficial. So it's positive, and it's giving you something that's giving that's life-giving, that is supportive. So that's the step number 4. To check in your life and look around for people, beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, environment, belongings, career, communication to yourself, communication to others. What are you saying? What are you hearing? What are you allowing to be heard? What are you listening to? What are you participating in? Is it supporting you? Is it beneficial? Or is it harmful? And so having that understanding and that awareness that we as human beings will thrive with positive and beneficial support, and to the degree that we have negative support or things that are taking away from us. If you've ever heard of the vampire effect, it feels like when you're around someone or in an environment or you're doing some action and you feel like the life's being sucked out of you. I use that because that vampire effect is so, it's so vivid. And you can feel that. So I want to give you the permission to give yourself the permission to choose those areas of your life, those items in your life, those categories and people and relationships and beliefs and patterns that are supporting you, and reinforce that and them, and release those that are not. All right, so there's the next step. And now I'm going to tell you about the story of what happened today. I'm going to share this with you. So now coming back around to how I am working on this place from being center stage. So the term center stage comes from the stage term, acting. And so I am passionate about the stage, the page, and the screen. I love reading, I love writing, and I love performing as an actor on stage and on screen. And so that I have given myself permission with the support of my coach to take center stage of my own life, and as a result step into that and claim that for what my path as a healer is, to help others step on their center stage. So what does that look like? Does it mean that I am saying, okay, it's time for you to get on stage and get up there and perform and do karaoke night? No, I don't even do karaoke, but it is kind of fun sometimes. I'm saying that we all have our space, our place, our unique voice, and a spotlight on our own center stage. That when we are standing in our place, we have stepped up, we are standing in our power, in our grace, in our unique voice. That's our center stage. And we're in the spotlight, and that means that we are not only open to express, but we're open to receive the applause and recognition. Now, what I am speaking about is coming from more of a conceptual place than a literal concept. So I'm really trying to communicate it conceptually, especially from having my own experience as an actor and having terrible stage fright and not being able to receive appreciation from the audience when they've experienced an emotional transformation because of a performance. And this is where all of the work that I have done as a counselor and as a healer comes in, and as a friend, and as a mother, and as a person, and as a human being communicating with another human being from a place of compassion, from empathy, from understanding, wanting to understand, and wanting and coaxing them to communicate more so I can understand more, so that I can help. So all of that comes down now to that piece of what I hope to do for you as my clients, and encourage you to step into that place of your own unique voice and your own center stage. So isn't that cool? I experienced something, so I wanted to write one more thing down. Oh, okay. So let me tell you about what happened. So I'm at the pool with my boys just about, not quite 2 hours ago. And we're at our club pool, the sports club right up the street. And so we go up there, we know we're gonna play for a little bit in the pool, and it's packed, as usual. And I'm getting things settled, and I see a row of moms, as usual, and they're all on their phones, talking away and having delightful time. And I'm not judging here, I'm just saying because this is my visual. So there's a little family here, there's the families over there, and there's the packed pool and the kids jumping in and out, and I've gotten my kids put their life jackets on and all their paraphernalia that goes with them, and I get my stuff settled down, and then they go off, and my eyes are vigilantly on them. And then I sit down for a moment and I settle in, and I get everything settled, and I can still see them, but they're a little bit far away, and I know they're safe. I can keep their eyes on them. But there was a pull from somewhere that was so strong that literally popped me out of my chair. I was sitting on the chaise lounge in my little bikini that I would normally not be in, but I was kind of away from everybody else. So I felt comfortable, and I was just going to get my legs a little bit tan, get some sunshine on my legs. And I swear there was this energetic pop that pushed me up, that pulled me up. I felt a pull. And I walked very briskly all the way across to the other side of the pool, past all the moms sitting in their chairs, having their conversations. I noticed the lifeguard as I passed the lifeguard station, and she was having a conversation over here, and all the kids are out there playing. And I walk over and I look at my boys, and I say, okay, they're safe. And I see another father here and another person here. And then I see a group of children in their 5, 6, 7, 8 age range, and they're playing and they're doing their things, and I'm standing there and I just feel this energy. Normally I'm relaxed around it, and I'm feeling an energy that's got me on my toes, and I'm paying attention. And my boys are safe. They actually both have life jackets on, because I have a rule about some things. They have to be able to swim all the way across the pool on their own before they take them off when we're in a group of people, because sometimes other children will grab a hold of other kids and pull them under. Well, I'm standing there, and I'm seeing there's about 7 or 8 kids in this very small area, so it's a lot of random motion going on, and one child pulls on another's, and they're playing, and I see that they're playing, so I let it go, and it's fine. I'm not butting in. There's other people around, parents and such. And then I watch again, and I see the little boy going under again, and he's not able to come up, but no one else is doing anything. I see the mom, I see the lifeguard, I see the father. They're not doing anything. And he goes down again, and I see he's not playing, and I'm standing on the side, and then I look one more time around. Nobody's doing anything. This boy is not playing, and he was down for the count. And that was it. I mean, of course, that takes over. You jump in. I jump in. I scoop him up. I push him with the force. I grab his belly and immediately start getting the water out of him, and he's spewing the water out. And just the natural instincts of a mom, getting him out of the pool and getting him safe and getting the water out of his lungs. And I'm thinking to myself, actually nothing during this time until I know the child's safe. The father, he wasn't the father of the child, but he's a dad he's just hadn't moved. And after I get the child settled, he says, fast reaction, good job. Like, what the, why didn't you do something? I didn't say it. It was just surprising because I'm still very shaken up about it. And so I'm doing my tools and techniques that I know to do when there's been a trauma, because it was traumatic for me to see this child, because he was down and under the water, and it was like, okay. And when you grab a hold of a body that is needing saving, it's intense. So I'm sitting there now, and I give him space, and then I go back over to him because he's still coughing, but he's breathing and he's fine. And the mother it's actually not the mother, it was the babysitter, and she is there talking to him, saying, I told you. And I was like, oh wow. So here she is communicating this message about that it was basically a blame, that it was his fault. And I had to go over there, and I didn't say any words. What I communicated to him was that you're safe. And I gave him a hug, and I did some tapping, kind of surreptitious, very, very quietly, but tapping that I knew would help. So I hit some pressure points on there, and that's one of the tools, as the different skills that I've learned. Doing tapping is a wonderful therapy, and I certainly didn't want him to have this scar. But after a round of tapping, he giggled, got up, and went back to playing in the pool. And then I had a good conversation with the gal taking care of him, got a hold of the lifeguard, and said, look, folks, you know, we need to get on the ball here, because this is not, you know, things can happen very quickly. And it didn't look like at the point anyone else was doing something. So my whole point in telling you this story and recounting it is that communication is so key. And look at how many different components there are in communication. There isn't just the verbal communication. There is the visual. There's the experiential communication, experiential of everyone involved, and then the words can be added. So the verbal can be added, but verbal of the words, but also the sounds. So auditory. What other sounds? I mean, I still, as I was recounting it, could hear the splashing. I could hear the voices. I could hear the playing. I could hear the boy choking and gagging up the water. And this is all part of what comes together as communication, not only the words that I'm saying and the physical body speaking, but energetically. Remember, as I was opening the story, I talked about how I felt this energetic pull to get up and go over there. And that was communication. So what I love about the work that I get to do now is that I get to empower you, empower my clients, and empower myself, empower my children, empower anyone who's willing to listen and learn and remember that we all have the gift within ourselves to listen and to hear, and we can choose what we wish to hear, because there are a lot of messages out there, so many messages that we all get every single day, and we can choose what we want to hear, and we can choose what we do hear, and we can choose also what we deliver in our verbally, in our message, and experientially. So Blog Talk's going to end, and I'm going to go ahead and let it go. And so Blog Talk Radio, thank you so much for having this on here. I'm grateful for the opportunity. And this is Stephana Johnson. If you go to stephanajohnson.com, I've got a great little series on my 5 steps, as well as a couple of other tips, but some if you go to stephanajohnson.com, you can always find me there and keep up with my blog, because I keep that updated as well for all the fun little free ideas that I want to share with the world. Okay, Blog Talk. I'll see you later. So the next thing I wanted to finish up with, let me just take a look at my notes. Yeah, so what I wanted to really communicate in this hangout is that this idea about center stage is not that you need to be an actor. Let me just type in my... You don't need to be an actor, because I'm not talking about that as far as center stage, but if you want to be, that's always fun too. You can always, I mean, just acting in your place of what you love is so much fun. It's so much joy. So you can look at it that way if you'd like, but ultimately what I'm talking about is stepping into your spotlight by listening to your own unique voice and really letting that come up from you, because I believe that with the billions on this planet, there are a billion unique voices, and yours should be heard and needs to be heard. The story that I tell is that there's the voice that needs to be heard, and there is the ear that needs to hear it, and there is always a matchup there. So if someone's not speaking their truth and saying their authentic voice, they're copying somebody else, or they're not even speaking out, someone's going hungry. Somebody's not hearing what they need to hear. So I think that if we can remember to step up and stand in our own power on our own center stage, wherever that is, and claim that, and then confidently speak that, whatever your message is, I think that we'll all have a better place, and we're not going to have a lot of this copycat going on, or copycat, that's not what I want to say. Because there's room for mentoring and there's room for learning. But when you come from your own authentic voice and you find that for yourself, that's where the fun begins, and that's where the fulfillment begins for yourself. And then you don't seek so much outside substitutes. How about that? Substitute to fill a need. So you don't look outside, shopping, alcohol, sex, addiction, you know, those things. Not that those are, I mean, you can choose to do those, but that's where I was getting with it. I was basically getting that when we seek outside, why can't I think of the word? Fulfillment. It's because there's something within us that's not fulfilled. And everything I'm talking about when I say getting on center stage is getting to that place so that you're stepping up and standing in your power and your grace and speaking up and speaking your truth. All right, I think that's all I have to say. I did note this down about being vigilant. Yeah, well, being vigilant, I think, was about the pool situation, but and also being vigilant about what we say and what messages we put out. So knowing what your unique message is, that really helps to know that so fully, so that you can then be vigilant about what you put out there, what messages go out there from you. So that every message that you send out, whether it's verbal, experiential, in your own relationships, in your business, are from that place of understanding of yourself, and then you're communicating that in a way. All right, now I'm getting into my place where I talk on and on and on, and I'm going to stop because I'm getting better at cutting myself off when I need to. All right, if you want to know more, go to stephanajohnson.com, and probably I've given myself the goal to do a hangout a day. through the rest of the month. So that's what I'm going to do. And I see one viewer there. I wish I could know who you were, who you are, and like chat with you, but I don't know that it's available. Maybe, you know, people want to stay secret or hidden, which is fine. So anyway, hi, I'm glad you're there. And peace and blessings.